हेलो फ्रेंड्स, आज का चैप्टर नंबर 9 क्लास 6 मेथड्स ऑफ सेपरेशन इन एवरीडे लाइफ। और यहाँ पे हमारा थॉट ऑफ द डे है, साधु ऐसा चाहिए जैसा सूप सुभाए, सार सार को गही रहे, थोथा दही उड़ाए। और ये कहा गया है कबीर के द्वारा। इट मीन्स जस्ट लाइक winnowing makes the husk below away while retaining the grains. Similarly, sages lets the virtues stay while discarding the wastes. इट मीन्स जो हमारे काम की चीज़ है वो ही हमें काम में लेनी चाहिए. Mali and Mali and his sister Wali are excited for their summer vacation. Their parents have planned a trip to visit their relatives and friends living across India. They all they always stay in touch with their relatives and friends. Do you also keep in touch with your loved ones? Their first halt is their Nani's materials grandmother house in Haryana. It is surrounded by large fields. Mully and Wali are fascinated by the various of grains built up in the courtyard. Their mommy material aunt and mama material uncle, along with other community members, are busy separating small stone and husk from the grain with their hands. Mully and Veli are curious to know why this is being done. Their Nani noticed their curiosity and example. We are removing these stones so that the grain are fit for cooking. They go around the house to see, to field and this the kettle. To keep them busy, Nani gives them a challenge of hand capping small stone from grains while keeping their eyes closed. The methods of picking by hand from a mixture when two or more substances are mixed, such as small stone and husk from wheat and rice, is called hand keeping. Yes, it is done on the basis of different in size, color, and shape of the particles. If the particles to be removed are present in small quantities and can easily be picked by hand, hand keeping proves to be convenient method. At lunch, Mali and Valley are served steaming hot vegetables pulaus. While eating the pulaus, Nani observed that Mali is spreading whole black peppers from the pulaus and is placing them aside on this plate. Wali playfully teases, "Wow, this is hand capping method. Nice one." Nani tells them about the benefit of the black pepper and encourages Mali to eat it. Later in the day, dear mamas take them to the field where they observe bundle of the harvested wheat stalk lying in the field. Some stalks are separate in the sun for drying. Both of them picked up stalk is and noticed numerous grains attached to it. A group of farmers are beating the stalks on the large wooden log. Curiously, Wali asked Mama, "Why are they doing this?" Mama explained, "They are beating the stalks to separate the grains. This process of separating grains from the stalks is known as thresling. Farmers work hard, yet they enjoyed their work. From time to time, they sing folk song while working. Explore folk song your region and try to sing along with your friends." So, one song. ओ थोड़ा रो देश देश, तो ये भी आप सिंग अलोंग विद योर फ्रेंड्स कर सकते हैं. द separate grains get mixed with pieces of husk. Wali whispered to Mali, will the farmer's hand keep the grains to remove them from so much husk? She wondered how much time we will farmers take to separate these. Let's perform an activity to find out the answer to the questions. Find out the answer to the question arised by Wali. A small amount of puffed rice is mixed with the chana dal. Can you think of separating the mixture by any method other than hand capping? या हम पानी के अंदर वाटर डाल के भी ये वाला कर सकते हैं. Take a hand of roasted peanuts and rub them between your palms. With what happens? It is possible to separate the removed skin and the peanuts. Now trying boiling it. What does you observe? Which of these components remove peanut skins or peanuts are blown away? You observe that blowing are separate that heavier and the lighter component. What do you think farmers separate so many grains from husk? Traditional a saw boom strike to use to separating higher and lighter component of a mixture. Next day their nannies takes uh, them to the field to show this process at work. Mali and Wali observe a farmer standing on a rising platform. The farmer is moving the bamboo track which contains rest what grains in the direction of air or wind. What you infer from figure 9.4, do both the components, wheat grains and husk, fall at the same place? Which of the two components get blown away? Can the find separate the two components? Yeah, this is uh, husk. It means grains and stone. Wali is unable to separate husk from rice in a closed room. How can you help her? Right, because no direction in flowing for husk. This method of separating heavier and lighter component of a mixing by wind or by blowing air is called winnowing. Have you seen any similar kind of activity being done at your home? Yes. Technological development have resulted in developing of threshing machine called threshers. These machines are used for separating grains from the stalks and husk. They perform both the task of threshing and winnowing simultaneously. Next day, Mali and Wali boarded a train to Ahmedabad to visit their father, friend Ghanshyam Bhai. Before leaving, Mali requested her mommy to prepare meethi puri, sweet Indian bread made from wheat flour, for their journey. Wali, shall I help you knead that wheat flour? Mommy, to prepare it is with your flour. First, we need to remove bran that may be present in the flour. Wali, how do we do it? Mommy, we use a sieve for this purpose. Sieve allows the fine flour particles to passes through the hole of the sieve as known in figure 9.5. The bigger particles such as bran and small stone remain on the sieve. Carefully observe a sieve. Are all the holes of the sieve that same size? Wheeling sieve work if the holes of the sieve are larger than the substance. Is there any difference in the size between the particles that passes through the sieve and the particle that remain on the sieve? Sieving it use when component of a solid mixture have different sizes. Upon reaching Ahmedabad, they visit Sabarmati Ashram along with Ghanshyam Bhai, where they learn about the Namak Satyagrah Dandi March. Have you ever observed sieve being used as a construction sites to separate pebbles and stone from the sand? Right. More to do. What is Sabarmati Ashram famous for? Draw a portrait showing Dandi March and discuss why it was organized. Organized for uh, British British people. Mali asks, where is namak? Common salt obtained from seawater, replies Ghanshyambai. Seawater is a mixture of salt and some other substance dissolved in water. To obtain salt, the seawater is kept in shallow pits and exposed to sunlight and air. In a few days, the water evaporates completely, leaving behind the solid mixture. Common salt is then obtained from this mixture by further purification. Find out about some water bodies in India that contain common salt. One such source in Sambar Lake in Rajasthan. Right. Let's explore how salt can be separated from a salt solution. So, now activity 9.2, observe and create. Take a bowl or any container and fill it half with water. Add 2 3 teaspoons of salt into it and stir till the salt dissolve to form a solution. Take a small pieces of black or dark colored thick paper and separate a few drops of the salt solution on it. You can also create any art of your choice with this salt solution. Allow it dry and then observe it the figure. Right. This figure can be do. Before drying, after drying, art created. Do you observe some pieces on the paper? What do you think is left on the paper? You can feel the presence of salt by touching the paper. Where has the water disappeared? Recall the chapter on a journey through the state of water, right? Because this is the uh, evaporate. Let's probe further to get the answer. In the traditional Indian system of holistic health and machine called Ayurveda, the herbs or parts of plants are prescribed as remedies. These ingredients like roots, leaves, flower, or seeds of various medicine plants are often dried in the seed. This practical facilitates the evaporation of excess water, leaving behind the importance of the medicine. Let's investigate. This activity may be demonstrated by the teacher. Take some salt solution prepared in activity 9.2 in a china dish. If a china dish is not visible, another suitable vessel may be used. Heat and let the water boil as shown in figure 9.8. Allow the china dish to cool. What you observe? What is left in the china dish? The particles of salt. Did you get the salt back? You can feel the presence of salt in the china dish by touching the salt with your fingers. Is there any method through which I can get back both salt and water? Observe the finger. Does it answer the question? Can you name the process involved? Yeah, because firstly evaporation, then collect another water. It is now Time for them to visit Dada and Dadi paternal grandparents residing in Pondicherry, located in southern India. Mali and Wali are excited to meet their old neighborhood friends Balan after reaching Pondicherry. They are talking about the old times and do not realize that it is already evening. Dada's tea time. Dada, I shall prepare tea for you children. We will also help you. As Dada make the tea, he share tips on how to make a cup of tea. Palan. After preparing tea, how do you remove the tea leaves? Dada, observably with a strainer. Sieves. You know, if we do not have a strainer, we can't still remove most of the tea leaves. Wali, how? Dada leaves the saucepan special containing tea undisturbed for some times and gently pours the tea in a cup of Valley. Oh, yes, and then the tea leaves will be settled at the bottom. The process of settling down the sewer unsoluble component at the bottom of a liquid is called sedimentation. Sedimentation. When the water is removed by tilting the vessel, the process is called decantation. सेडिमेंटेशन मतलब सेडिमेंट हो जाना किसी भी पार्टिकल का, और डिकांटेशन मतलब जिसमें हम उसको वाटर को रिमूव कर दें. इन द चैप्टर मटेरियल्स अराउंड अस you have studied the oil does not mix with the water and perform a separate layer when left undisturbed for some time. Which method of separation would you use to separate oil and water? Oh, decantation is also used in washing and cleaning of rice and pulses. Right. Dada, but I can still a few tea leaves in my mouth because decantation does not completely separate all the tea leaves from the tea. Balan, oh, it means it is not a proper method of separation. Dada, yes, you are right. The tea is ready now. Mali keeps picks up the tea strainer from the shelf and gives it to his Dada. Let me pour the tea through this strainer. You can see all the tea leaves collect in the strainer. This process of separating tea leaves from tea is called filtration. Balan asked Mali if he could use a tea strainer to filter muddy water. Let us try and find out. Dada. Also, try to filter the muddy water through a piece of cloth and observe the difference. And how make layers of clothes I do I need to use to get clear water? Two times. Mali, why should we use a piece of cloth? Dada, in a piece of cloth there are very small holes or pores between the woven's threads. These pores in the clothes can be used a filter. People of ancient times also followed this practice. But if the water is still muddy, impurities can be separated using a filter with even similar holes or pores. A filter paper is one such filter that has very fine pores in it. Try to fold that filter paper yourself and make a cone as shown in figure 9.10. It means first filter paper, one fold, then two fold, and you also make a cone. Piece of inside a funnel capped, a conical flask, and pure muddy water. What do you observe? Do the mud particles passes through the filter paper? The water coming from the funnel will be collected in the conical flask. You will get mud as a reduce on filter paper and clear water as a filtrate in the conical flask. And more about you. Other than the filter paper, many materials such as cotton, charcoals and sand can be used as filter. The choice of filter depends on the size of particles of the materials to be removed. Now activity 9.5, let's design and create. Wali goes for a nature walk with her dadi and collects some water from a pond in a container. She observes some time unwanted substance in it. Design and create a working model of water filter using low cost material. And do you know, tea bags were initially made of soft cloth like silk because it could hold the tea leaves and left water passes through. Silk was strong and did not fall apart when it touched hot water. Later people started using gauze or muslin. Eventually they began using filter paper, which is what most tea bags are made of today. Mali and Valli go on a boat ride in a This nearby river with their dada and his friend Otukam. Otukam is a fisherman as they cast the fishing net. Water drains out through the mesh. Wali recalls the filtration method she had learnt and realized that this method of catching the fish is somewhat similar. Mali is taken aback when she was plastic bag, broken bottles, and a large fish's a stroke stuck in its mouth, and food vapors along with the other fishes trapped in the net. Let's raise awareness about the issue of water and ocean pollution by composing a poem. A few lines have been written here, add more lines throughout. Pieces of plastic in my neck, as in pain I cry. Colies, colies, where are you, dear? Papa fish cry and Mama fish has tears, and you don't follow this now. Aware of the harm, yet they let it fall. Collies faintly her mother's know. Stop plastic pollution at shores. River are hungry shores. Discuss with your parents. A bowl of milk in your home has gone short. Discuss with your parents how you can use it in another way. Also, which method of separation will you use in the process? Mali and Vali takes blessing from their Dada and Dadi, bid goodbye to Balan and travel to Madhya Pradesh. The train reaches Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. The sun is rising and it is getting hot. On their way to Masi's materials aren't home. They drink chach. They drink chach buttermilk in the dhaba roadside. Mali asked the shopkeeper about the big painting hanging on the wall of the dhaba. The shopkeeper explained that the picture shown a lady performing the process of churning curd using a big mathni churner to separate butter. In this process, the butter being lighter float at the top while the buttermilk is left behind. Their stay at Masi's place has come become enjoyable, and they are looking forward to share all these their memory with their friends upon returning home. Now it is time for them to reach their final des- destination of the trip, Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya. It means my previous question, Shillong, which city? So in Meghalaya. On their arrival at their Bua's paternal aunt's house in Shillong, they notice a carpenter making a wooden door while working, and he accidentally drop a new iron nails in the sawdust. The carpenters start hand keeping the iron nails. The children tell the carpenter to wait. They get a magnetic from their bua. They ask the carpenter to move the magnet through the sawdust. All the nails get attracted to it. Which method of separation did the carpenter use? Recall the chapter on exploring magnet, right? Because uh, south and north poles are attract and same poles are repel. The substance which are attract towards a magnet are called magnetic substance. Iron is a common example of the magnetic substance. Separating of magnetic and non-magnetic substance by using magnet is called magnetic separation. Nowadays, recycles are recycles use magnetic to separate iron articles from a heap of waste. In many industries, the waste materials often contain scrap iron. This is separate from the heap of waste material using magnet filtered to a grain. The scrap iron can be recycled and reused. Mully and Wally had delightful holidays, and the Bharat Ki Yatra tour of India, filled with fun, will be everlasting memory for them. They not only enjoy exploring different regions of India but also gained a lot of knowledge about various methods of separation of substance. Activity Let's 9.6. Write the following phrases on small slip of paper. Separating small stone from pulses, choring card to obtain butter, taking out green chilies from cooked dalias, dish made for cracked wheat, or poha, dish made from filtered rice, taking out seed from watermelons, storing peels of sawdust and iron nails from a mixed heaping of building materials, keeping marigold flower from a heap of other flowers to make garlands, separating pebbles from sand, separating coconut pieces from rice flour, separating oil from water, separating salt from salt solution are tens uh, tens types of activity in we will complete it in our chapter. And now take two basket is representing one of the two purposes for which we separate substance from two teams and see who will get the maximum correct entries. To remove any one of the components that is not useful, no useful, think and start. To separate two different but useful components, no. This activity helps in assigning your understanding as to why we separate substance, because useful or not useful are substance in mix of a are compound, then we will be separating method use. So our keyword: churning, mixture, create, decantation, sedimentation, design, evaporation, sieving, experiment, filtration, thistling, explore, hand keeping, winnowing, infer, investigate, observe, and magnetic separation. And any mistake in my lecture, then you will put in comment below.